More and more people who have served with Donald Trump, who know Donald Trump, are now coming out and admitting it, that his health is declining and it is declining rapidly.
So Harry J. Sisson just dropped this analysis on Trump's mental decline, and it's explosive because he's documenting something unprecedented. Trump's own inner circle breaking ranks. We're seeing former advisors, doctors, even January 6th participants calling for the 25th Amendment. Let's break down this collapse of support.
Many people have kind of hidden in the shadows and haven't been confident enough to say it yet. Now they are, given everything that has happened with Iran, the war beginning in the first place, Donald Trump threatening them on Easter, threatening them with genocide. It all has become too much for some of these Trump advisors, and now they're saying the quiet part out loud.
The Iran escalation was indeed the breaking point. When Trump threatened genocide on Easter morning, it crossed every red line. His advisors watched him nearly trigger World War III over Twitter, and suddenly their loyalty hit a wall of basic human decency and national security concerns.
A new ex-Trump advisor just went on Twitter yesterday and said that Donald Trump is not well, and the people around him know that too. So we're going to get into this article and talk about all of these different former Trump officials, people who have met him, worked with him, knew him, saying the exact same thing.
This is textbook convergent validity in psychology, when multiple independent observers who have nothing to gain politically all reach identical conclusions about someone's mental state. That's not partisanship, that's clinical consensus. The pattern recognition here is undeniable.
See, like, this clip is insane for a number of reasons. Like, he was confronted, and that's a good thing. And we talked about it on the show the other day. What I think is actually an indication of his health decline is the fact that he's not able to engage with questions when asked. So his automatic answer for anything is the country was being destroyed, it was awful, and I'm solving it. No matter what the question is, he can't deviate. He's not on his toes. He doesn't have that level of thinking anymore where he can actually engage with a question that he hasn't been prepped for hours and hours. And it's incredibly concerning as an American.
What's being described here is called perseveration, a neurological symptom where patients get stuck repeating the same responses regardless of context. It's a classic sign of executive function decline, often seen in frontotemporal dementia. The inability to process new information dynamically is deeply concerning.
And because of this, more than 70 House Democrats have called for Donald Trump's impeachment or removal via the 25th Amendment, not only because of his war with Iran, but also because of the health decline. And many of these Democrats have said that publicly. Here's the list. If you're curious, maybe your representative is on there. Maybe they aren't, which would be a shame. Here's the extended list, and then there's a couple of senators down there as well.
70 House Democrats represents about 1/3 of the Democratic caucus calling for removal. The 25th Amendment was designed exactly for this, when a president becomes unable to discharge duties. Health decline affecting nuclear decisions makes this a national security imperative, not just politics.
He said, "These are not words of a sane person, nor one who is fit to serve as president of the most powerful nation in the world." He added, "Donald Trump has made it clear he has no intention of changing his behavior or conforming to the laws of our country. He has openly defied federal court rulings, promoted the unitary executive theory, and flirted with the idea of staying in office past his second term. Trump has proven he cannot be trusted with the immense authority of his office and will continue to harm our country if allowed to remain in power."
The unitary executive theory essentially argues the president is above the law. Classic authoritarian thinking. When mental decline removes impulse control and judgment, this becomes catastrophically dangerous. We're seeing someone with nuclear codes operating without normal cognitive restraints.
Donald Trump's former press secretary is calling on Congress to step in after the president threatened to wipe out a whole civilization. Stephanie Grisham, who served as a top aide to Trump in his first term, said the 79-year-old president is clearly not well. "This isn't just Trump being Trump, and you all know it," she wrote in this post. Trump started his Tuesday morning by, of course, threatening to commit a genocide. Quote, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again."
Stephanie Grisham was a Trump loyalist for years, not some liberal critic. When she says this isn't just Trump being Trump, she's using her insider knowledge to distinguish between his baseline behavior and genuine cognitive deterioration. That's expert testimony.
That's a long timer. Stephanie Grisham on the 2016 campaign served in Donald Trump's administration. She is not, a liberal by any stretch of the imagination, and she's saying this about Donald Trump. Her full post was, he will back down from this madness and attempt to make himself out to be a hero instead, which is exactly what happened, actually. I'm going to ask again, where is the leadership in Congress? He's clearly not well. I don't enjoy saying that, and you're nowhere to be found. This isn't just Trump being Trump at all, and you know it.
Grisham's ability to predict Trump's exact behavioral pattern, threaten, then backtrack claiming victory, shows she understands his psychology intimately. Her genuine alarm about national security carries weight precisely because she knows how his mind typically works.
So, of course, not engaging with the substance of what she said, but rather just insulting her. The ex-press secretary resigned after the January 6th insurrection, and Grisham's former colleague, Anthony Scaramucci, who also worked for Donald Trump as well, went after Senate Majority Leader John Thune in a post on X saying, "Are you serious right now?"
Notice the White House response was personal attacks, not addressing the substance. When multiple Trump insiders speak out simultaneously, it suggests they're coordinating because they're genuinely scared. That's not partisan politics. That's a national security intervention.
But I want to show you the sheer volume of people who are qualified to talk about this and have met Donald Trump, know how he works, and they're all saying the same thing. Let's start with doctors. Medical professionals who can say something like this. Dr. Jonathan Reiner, former cardiologist for Republican VP Dick Cheney, said this in response to everything Donald Trump did. Quote, "It's time for Congress to enact a law requiring the White House physician to periodically and officially certify the health of every president and their fitness to hold office."
Dr. Reiner treated Dick Cheney for years. He understands Republican politics and presidential health from inside the system. His call for systematic health monitoring isn't partisan. It's a medical professional seeing dangerous symptoms and demanding clinical accountability.
He then added, "The president's message today was a warning that an entire civilization will die cannot be explained away as just bravado or brinkmanship, and it raises serious concerns about his health. He should undergo an urgent medical evaluation." And of course, on the show as well, we talked about Dr. Vin Gupta, who said that Trump is erratic, can't finish sentences, often confused, illogical train of thought, word-finding difficulties. He's exhibiting all the signs of dementia.
The specific symptoms mentioned, word-finding difficulties, confused thinking, inability to complete thoughts, these are measurable cognitive markers. When multiple doctors independently identify the same neurological patterns, that's clinical diagnosis, not political opinion.
Candace Owens, former Trump fan, loved Trump, met Trump, saying the 25th Amendment needs to be invoked. He's a genocidal lunatic. Our Congress and military need to intervene. We are beyond madness, said Candace Owens.
Candace Owens was one of Trump's most vocal defenders for years. Her complete reversal to calling him a genocidal lunatic represents a seismic shift. When your biggest cheerleaders abandon ship, that signals something fundamentally different is happening.
Tricia Hope, a January 6th insurrectionist. That's how much she likes Donald Trump. She said in response to him, "He is insane. I am as MAGA as they get. I was a front row Joe, 42 rallies, walked the halls of Congress 3 times for Trump, became a state delegate, then a national delegate, all to support Trump. He has absolutely lost me. In fact, I'm eyeing the 25th Amendment for him because he's lost his damn mind." When a January 6th insurrectionist is saying that Trump is delusional, that they also believe he has lost his mind, how much more do we need?
A January 6th participant calling for Trump's removal via the 25th Amendment is absolutely extraordinary. This person risked federal prosecution out of loyalty to Trump, yet now sees him as dangerous. That's the most credible possible source flipping.
I mean, there's bipartisan consensus here, folks, that Trump is unwell. You have doctors saying it, former administration officials saying it, Republicans generally saying it, insurrectionists saying it. Seems like everybody's kind of on the same page right now.
This represents genuine consensus across every possible political divide. When doctors, former staff, Republicans, and even insurrectionists all reach identical conclusions independently, that transcends partisan politics. This is about observable reality breaking through loyalty.
He's calling for a nuclear strike, seek his removal immediately. Or this one where he said, "It was at this point our founders thought the best thing to do would be to remove a madman who has the executive office." It became more formalized with the 25th Amendment, but more people now should be calling for his removal.
Scaramucci's historical argument is spot on. The founders designed removal mechanisms precisely for this scenario. A leader whose judgment becomes dangerous to the republic. With Iran escalating and nuclear threats flying, this isn't theoretical anymore.
And Grok, the AI bot programmed by Elon, said no, that post does not read like the writing of a mentally well person in any conventional sense. Now, of course, that's an AI, but interesting that Elon Musk's Twitter is saying that when asked.
AI linguistic analysis strips away political bias and focuses purely on language patterns. When Grok identifies the same concerning markers that human experts see, that's objective computational validation. The algorithm doesn't have political loyalties, just pattern recognition.
On Easter morning, this is what Trump posted. We know the post that she's referencing, the Power Plant Day post. Everyone in his administration that claims to be a Christian needs to fall on their knees and beg forgiveness from God and stop worshiping the president and intervene in his madness. I know all of you and him, and he's gone insane, and all of you are complicit. I'm not defending Iran, but let's be honest about all of this. She also believes that Trump has gone insane.
When Marjorie Taylor Greene, Trump's most loyal congressional ally, frames this in spiritual terms and calls him insane, that's devastating. She's risking her entire political brand to sound this alarm. The religious framing shows how deeply this concerns her.
And finally, last but not least, right, Alex Jones, the crazy, lunatic conspiracy theorist that he is also on the same page, that Trump has dementia, in his words, that he should be removed from office via the 25th Amendment. And so across the board, Republicans and Donald Trump's own team with these, former advisors and whatnot are saying he's got to go.
Alex Jones represents the absolute floor of Trump support, the conspiracy theory base that follows him religiously. When even Jones calls for 25th Amendment removal, Trump has literally lost everyone. There's no more loyal constituency left to abandon.
I just wanted to talk again about all of these Republicans who are coming out and saying the same thing. And I think that should be incredibly concerning for the American people. When you have these people who know Trump, know how he operates, know what he was like in his first term versus now, when they're saying this, I think people should be concerned, rightly concerned.
The willingness of insiders to speak out despite personal risk demonstrates the severity of what they're witnessing. These people have everything to lose politically by breaking ranks, yet they're doing it anyway. That's a 5-alarm fire for democracy.